Hi, this is Josh from Be Lovely Botanicals. Haven't really heard too much about us this spring. A lot of you know that last year we suffered a lot of losses. This year, for whatever reason, we're working with USDA to figure out what exactly is going on with our hives. If you watched us last year about what we did with our hives, you know that we spent a lot of time. You can see the structure that we built for them last winter to try to protect them more. We thought we had them in a good spot. We moved them up north where we thought we'd have less pesticides. And for whatever reason, honestly this year, the bees looked really healthy. From this hive you can see they had plenty of food, which that's one of the things that you have to worry about when you have bees, is that they have enough food for the winter time. And what we opened up this hive, actually all the hives that we've looked at so far, that's what we have for bees. A lot of the hives had extremely small populations in them. We're not sure why. That is one of the signs of colony collapse. Last year when we bundled them up, there was a lot of beehives, or there was a lot of bees in these hives. It's just very, very, very depressing for us. So that was all the bees that finally froze. There's some more bees in the bottom of this hive, but this is what the last of the cluster looked like. I actually think right there's the queen. So that's the queen right there.
Looks like they were starting to lay some brood.
Yeah, right here would be brood. So this is the second year in a row now that we've had terrible, terrible losses. We don't know exactly why this year. Last year when we lost all of our hives, we went into fall. They didn't look healthy. They didn't look good. This year when we bundled them up in October, we thought we had a lot of really good hives. Not all of them we knew were going to make it, but we thought we'd pull out. We were hoping for at least 80%, and we lost them all again this year. We had 45 hives going into winter, and we lost them all. So that is the news from our bee yard. We're hearing some people that we're hearing all sorts of stories from. They had really good success too. We had total losses too. We don't know what it was this year. We're working to find out what it is. And we just don't know. With that, we're going to continue doing our Adopt-A-Hive. We have packages ordered. They'll be ready in May. So we're going to get some more bees. We're not going to get 40 like we did this past year. We're just going to take it a little bit slower this year, see if we can figure it out.
Well, one of the things that we thought might be is that we use the queens that were in the package, and they're sometimes they're not as high of quality as what you would like, and they're bred in Georgia.
Right. The genetics is more geared towards southern climate, so one of the things we're going to do this year is switch out our queens early on. We're going to get more northern queen stock and replace queens and possibly make some more splits and see what we get. We're going to try that and see if that works a little bit better. And do a lot more research on other treatments we can do. I guess that's about all. So if you want to adopt a hive, we have just 2 shares now, or 2 different options. We have a full share and a half share with product. Again, you get hive updates. We're going to do the hive updates a little bit different this year because our internet's very slow. We're going to do one video update, and we're going to do just probably. I'm out of time?
Almost.
Okay, I guess I'm almost out of time. we're going to do the hive updates a little bit different. So I guess with that, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll get this figured out this year. Thanks.
Oh, there she is. There's Queen Esther right here. And these queens are in the hive. Their job is to lay eggs. So they can lay up to 1,500 eggs a day in summertime. They go on a mating flight after they're hatched, but other than that, unless the hive swarms, she is in the hive in the dark. So a lot of these queens, especially being new, don't really like being out in the sun. They'll try to run and hide on the bottom of the frame where it's a little bit more shaded and they feel a little bit more secure. So we'll watch and see. Queen Esther she's doing a really good job. She seems like she's a little bit more intent on her work, and you can tell by the wonderful brood pattern that she is really laying a lot of eggs. She's doing a really good job. What she'll typically do is walk up to a cell, and you can see there she stuck her head in it.
Exactly where?
Oh, right here. See her right there?
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to walk up to a cell and she's going to stick her head in it. And she's going to make sure that there's not an egg in it and that it's clean. And then she measures the size of the cell with her antennas. And if it's a small cell, she'll lay a fertilized egg, which there you can see her laying an egg right now. See, Queen Esther does not quit. She just keeps going and going. The other queen bees, they're a little bit less experienced, I guess, when we pull them out. They just ran around. But you got a really good view. She just laid an egg in that cell. So she measures to see the size of the cell, then she'll lay a fertilized egg or an unfertilized egg. And there she goes again, sticking her head in. Or you got her on the screen there, kiddo? So she, if it's a larger cell, she'll lay an unfertilized egg. And the queen can decide, when she goes on her mating flight, she stores sperm from 5 to 20 drones in a specialized organ called a spermatheca. And then she will either fertilize the egg or not as she's laying them. So all of the eggs and sperm for this entire hive, for this queen's life, are in her abdomen right now. You can see that's why her abdomen is quite a bit longer than the rest of the bees, because she has a lot more going on in there. The other bees, none of them should have organ there. She's laying another egg. None of them should have organs developed enough to lay an egg, because they weren't fed as rich of a diet when they were a larva. So she's doing a phenomenal job. Very good queen. I'm going to carefully put her back in there. As you can see, these are, this hive lays propolis. These are stuck together pretty good. I think I checked this frame already. I don't think I checked the one next to it. We know she's in there because she's doing a really good job. There's a really solid pattern of brood. So now it's just a matter of finding her. And like I was saying in Evelyn's video, some of these queens are a little bit more skittish. Once they get into full egg laying mode, they're probably gonna just keep going on about their business and not worry about us quite so much. But we've noticed that they tend to try to hide on the bottom of the frame or go in some little nook or cranny somewhere and hide out on us. So here's another wonderful frame of brood.
Again.
Yep. She must be on there. And you can see this was a foundationless frame like the other one that we showed you. Here's that wire. And they've built this all out from scratch. So, and there's an egg in every cell. Right down in here, I don't know if you can see that, but you can see these are little worms. Here, the little larvae.
And here is she's doing an excellent job.
Oh boy.
That's dead. So what Jody's pointing out there, that was a queen cell. When you buy packages, what happens is you get a queen and roughly 10 to 12,000 bees in a package. Unfortunately, the bees, they like a diversity in age, and if that diversity in age isn't there, they kind of blame it on the queen. So they try to requeen hives a lot, but there is brood in this one. So what happened was this was a queen cell. They thought our queen is no good, so they started making a new queen cell. Then they realized, no, she's actually laying a nice pattern, which this is actually a beautiful pattern. This is all young bees under here. If you look at the difference, try not to drop this and make them angry. So this is capped honey here. So if you look from the difference between the capping here and here, this is wax that they put over the honey, and this is actually cocoon. So the bees will take, they spend their first 2 weeks as a larva, and then they spin a cocoon like a caterpillar would, and then they metamorphose inside there, and then they'll chew that cap off when it's time to hatch.
And if you notice how I was talking about the bees insulating the brood, this is typically what bees do, and it's a really good sign that you have a good hive. When they start packing the outside edge of the frame with honey, and then there's a small ring of pollen, and then they have the worker brood in the center.
Right.
That's just textbook what you want your frames to look like from the center of the hive. So this is doing really well here.
So to finish up with the queen cell, they think that the queen is not doing good because there's not a difference in age at all. And what happened was, once the queen started laying eggs, they realized that there's nothing wrong with the queen, so they actually killed the queen that they started raising. That happens quite a bit with packages. The way you can tell that they killed her was, if this queen actually hatched, there'd be a little flap right on the bottom where she chewed out to release herself, and instead this one is broken in the middle, meaning that they stung it or they killed it and then pulled it out through the middle, so it never actually hatched. Okay, so we thought we would talk a little bit about what's actually in the adoption certificate, or in the Adopt-A-Hive program. Of course, with the videos that we just showed you, you can see a little bit about what we talk about, what the hive looks like. And your first video that you get will be personalized just like that. It'll have your queen, talk a little bit about what's actually going on in your particular hive. And then the updates after that will be a little bit more generic, but the first one you get will be very personalized. We'll mention you by name, of course, and then we'll also mention your queen by name. But when you get an Adopt-A-Hive, one of the things you get is this hive manual. This is a publication that Jody and I made up ourselves. So it has stuff a little bit more about just our business and our family, what we do. So, and then about bees, benefits of raw honey. We have a couple recipes in here. What you can do for bees yourself. Swarms. So we don't want to, of course, a lot of people, when they see a big swarm of bees, that they get nervous and worried. Swarms are typically very docile, so you don't have to worry about them. So we talk a little bit about what you can do if you find a swarm in your property. And just a whole host of different things that, like what the life of a bee is like, all different things. This is a publication we make new every year, so if you happen to have adopted a hive last year, it's not going to be the same one. It's going to have some different content in it as well. You get an adoption certificate. So this is one that this isn't anybody's in particular. This is Helper Bee adopted the hive, and they named their queen Queen Beatrice. So we personalize this for you. If you get the full share, you get to name the queen. If you get a half share, then you're put in a drawing with the other person that adopted the other half, and we decide who gets to name the queen that way. So if you choose to do the half share for $100, you have a 50% chance of naming the queen. If you buy the full share, then of course you get to name the queen yourself. And this is all the sample of products. We did have different options for the Adopt-A-Hive. You can do, this is the women's full share, so you can see all the different products. There's actually $211 worth of product in this box alone. Plus you get the adoption certificate, the hive manual, and the hive updates as well. So we have, you get a hand cream, you get 6 bars of soap, and these are the ones that we selected. But with the hand cream and the soaps, if you prefer something else other than what's on there, just let us know and we'll substitute it in. You get body scrub, our face moisturizer, which is one of our best sellers, our face scrub, which has propolis activated charcoal,
a lip balm sampler kit, which has one of every one of our lip balms, plus a full jar of honey, so a full pound of honey, and a nail and cuticle balm. So $211 worth of products for $200, plus you get all the extra benefits of that. This would make an excellent, if for any mother that really likes bees, like nature, or gardens, this would be an excellent gift for them, because it kind of blends the best of both worlds, where if you have a garden or like gardening, of course you probably like bees because there are a lot of benefits to your garden, plus you get all the benefits of the beehive from the Adopt-A-Hive kit. So with that, it's an excellent time to buy right now. Of course, Mother's Day is just around the corner. We got a little over about a week and a half right now, so you got an option. You can name the queen after your mom if you'd like to do that, or if there's somebody else's name that would be significant. So it's a perfect gift for all sorts of people. We'd really appreciate it if you buy. Of course, it helps us out because we can continue to expand our bee farm, hopefully, and keep bees alive. And of course, everybody knows, if you watch the previous part of the video, that we're really struggling. We've even struggled a lot in the last couple of years. So thanks for watching. So we thought we would go over what's actually in the adoption kit. When you adopt a hive, you get products, or you can just select all honey too if you'd like. But we wanted to go over what products are in the adoption kit. And my wife is smiling at me and shaking the camera. Of course, you get a certain amount of products, but then you also get an adoption certificate plus. Oh my God. Don't watch that, okay?
Can we just edit that out? Can you want to start over, or do you want to just
I don't know. Can you control yourself? I think I was better off doing this myself.
Okay.
Underside of the frame. Can you see, Jessie?
Where'd she go?
It just knocked her down into the hive.
So I'm going to move away in the nose. Did everybody catch that one? That was right in the nose.